Hey everyone, good morning. This is Kyle. Good morning, happy Monday to you, throwbacks. Simon's just going to be taking the day off. I think he might actually join us a little bit later in a couple hours, but till then, it's just going to be me. Great, well, I trade Euro USD, so let's have a little bit of a breakdown on Euro USD. So maybe let's talk about the markets today. So markets, let's look at the futures here. So futures, we've had pretty good days, or pretty good overnight, I would say. Everything across the board is up more than 1% in the major indices. And let's look at the currencies. Now we have a little bit of the opposite. We have the US dollar pretty low here, and let's see the euro. Euro is pretty strong at 0.5%. Actually, the strongest is the pound. Yep. Looking at the other currencies, they definitely aren't the strongest one. But with that being said, though, let's take a look here. Let's do a little bit of a top-down analysis of Euro USD. Alright, so let's look at monthly. We're probably at the month end, so this is what the candle's going to stick form anyways. So monthly, you have a bearish candlestick. It's going to stay like that because what? We have another 2 more days before the month ends. We have a lower bearish candlestick that's developing, and we could see a push down. Don't forget, US dollar has been going down quite a bit lately, so this might be, as you can see, when US dollar goes up, Euro USD goes down. So we might see a push down next month, but anything can happen. But right now, bearish. Weekly last week was horrible for the Euro USD, and what I'm thinking too is this candlestick here, such a strong candle formation. You see it break multiple weeks of support. So I wouldn't be surprised that today, as you can see, it's an up day, but this creates the upper wick for another push down, because this whole area here, that's clean traffic. So we'll see how that goes, but then we might see another leg push down here where this wick is. So this, I guess, support, we could say, at 115, so 170 pips. Nothing too big. And then if we look at the daily here, like I said, daily is strong. We might find some support, maybe even tap into this area here at 117. This area right here. Oops. I didn't see a push down afterwards, but yeah, I think an upper wick is going to be created first, and then 4 hours, same deal. We're at the kind of the upper range here. It might break through today and then come back down. But I mean, right now, I'm still thinking that this month is going to be a bearish month. But this week might open up higher, and then for a week we might see a little bit. But now, if we're looking at the intraday chart, that's when we have to change into a different gear. And I think, with that being said, we have multiple level top here. We see a breakout, and we have like a formation above here. Then we might see a continuation up until that 117.20 level up around here. And I think it's to tap that, and then maybe throughout the evening tomorrow night, depending on news and whatnot, we'll see a continue drop. If bearish move is indeed the right move, or the right direction. Just looking here, that would be a nice pullback. Yeah. But we'll wait and see if we're going to find the trade accordingly. Yeah, I think that's nice. What news to talk about today? Wow, 14 finger lead. E3000 infection, 700 deaths. Let's read about that in a bit. Definitely risky to bet on companies trying to make the vaccine. From previous streams, I think I mentioned to everyone that I think a more reasonable one is to find the distributors and manufacturers for this drug rather than bet who's going to come up with the right formula. Let's see here. Fall is in Indian shares. So India is kind of following what the U.S. is supporting its banks. Some of the banks, I forgot which article I read. I think it was like that PCM or PXCM bank basically did the same thing. High interest savings accounts that ended up, they obviously couldn't pay those lucrative interest rates to the depositors, and they had to file for bankruptcy or insolvency. So sometimes those things are too good to be true, especially since they said that there's no risk. Anything that says there's no risk, and when you know there is risk, you can call it for what it is type of deal. Let's movement here. A lot of traffic, a lot of noise right now. We're heading to 6:30. Let's just see how the 30-minute closed. Bearish, but I mean, formation of the market's still intact. And plus, we still have half an hour before the hour closes, anyways. So I think, yeah, it's probably gonna close bullish. That sucks. It's funny, they say that this trading desk scandals from trading desks with any big banks is a crime ring, but no one goes to jail. No one ever really goes to jail. They just get fined. Let's see. Here. Alright. What happened there? Oh, that makes sense. It's hard to get people traveling to country in quarantine on their holiday for 14 days. Might as well just stop the hotel. Unless they're planning to stay for more than a month. They live at a hotel. What a big article. So is he in jail or no? Wow. That was a nice morning read. That's kind of actually a very interesting thing. I think in 2000, I read an article, I don't know how true this is, but this kind of reminded me with Trump. Trump paid about, I think, less than $750 in income tax in 2015 or 2016 to 2017, 2 years, which I find pretty funny. I mean, the man must be great at writing capital losses. But yeah, let's see here. Well, let's wait and see what the markets are going to give us. A little noisy there for a 6:30 session, so we'll see kind of what it does, what it wants to do anyways. I mean, the 10 pips, I think, this is the previous high that we had. It broke through, and it did retest here, so we had put in like somewhere of a sell stop, a buy limit here. Yeah, this would have been your 10 pips right there, but we did not, and we'll wait, because right now we are getting close to another top of the zone here. I know this week we did already start off bullish, but like I mentioned before, yeah, last week was a very strong bear candlestick formation, and we can honestly see this since we have clean traffic to the left here. We're going to see it kind of break down to 15 to 1400 levels, but so we'll wait and see if the markets give us any more clues. We'll keep analyzing, because the first push will be 7 o'clock, second push will be 7:30, and then I think the final push will be around 8 o'clock to see if we can get a move in for 10 pips. see if the 30 actually turns bearish and pushes down, because then the reason why I want to bring that up is then you have like somewhere in the middle where you grab up on the top here, close to the resistance level, and we actually might see a continuation of push down here for a move. 20-minute just closer, we have two bearish candlesticks, but technically speaking, we have this 540 candlestick. We had a lower low and a higher high, but then the 620 candlestick, we had a higher low and a higher high. So maybe this is a build up, or probably a push upwards like this. If we want to be more aggressive, of course you can put like a buy limit around here for 10 pips. So give us around here for a 10 pip move around here. But that's more on the cowboy entry side, so take it easy and watch. Don't forget today is Monday, don't bang the house on anything. Wait and see, preserve the capital, and we'll go from there. I'll just be right back. All about the relief rally. I think a really good podcast I suggest everyone to listen to. I mean, everyone's heard about Joe Rogan, his guest Peter Scheif. I think I mentioned him before on this. Really good guy, very insightful, very interesting on how his take on economics and what really it's what's been happening with the U.S. per se. How it's not really rainbows and sunshine so far, and we're about to hit a storm soon. So I think he manages Pacific Pacific Rim Investments. Actually, let's search them up right now. Libertarian. And Chico's Euro Pacific Capital. Yeah, Connecticut, but this guy lives in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico.
Here is some information about Puerto Rico.
Oh, right beside the Dominican Republic. Okay. Not too far from Florida. Wow. See that? We had a push up. And 20 is going to close in 4 minutes. If we have a push up, that might be a liquidity grab. If it closes bearish, everyone here. Yeah, that's 3 bearish ones. Probably see another move down in here. I mean, you could take the opportunity of this as a short if you choose so. I mean, intraday we're on an uptrend this week, but let's just say you put a sell limit here, try to get 10 pips, which is around here, fills the wick here, which is definitely doable. Your stop's going to be above this zone, so it kind of protects you on that side too. You're going for something quick, easy, of a short there, so that's how we typically, for myself, have time measure the in and out of my trades, so I know that, hey, at least this area gives you some form of protection, and then go from there. So Puerto Rico. Oh man, gotta stop thinking about traveling. So something interesting, I don't know if everyone knew that I went to Vancouver last week. So I met with my cousins, love them to death, great people. So my older cousin offered a challenge. So the challenge was, and this is embarrassing to say, but it was to do, basically, it was guys versus girls. The girls would do a set amount of sit-ups, and then the guys would do, I think we didn't even do one for one, we did half of the amount of sit-ups they did, we would do push-ups. So props to the girls, they did, I think, a combination in 8 minutes, did, what was it, 300 and, combination the first time was 360 sit-ups, so we did half of those push-ups, split between 3 people, wasn't too bad, but I haven't gone to the gym for a while. It's been about 10 months since with all the COVID started, and wow, had I gone, my push-ups have definitely been less than desirable than I remembered it to be. So my cousin challenged me. He's like, he'll do 3 times the amount of push-ups. My cousin's really, like, he is a buff dude, so works out lots. He's been working out even consistently. He's kind of at a gym on his patio, on his deck, or so. Yeah, so the challenge was he'll do 3 times the amount. So each and every day I've been kind of trying to do I think the first day was it was 60, but then I was been able to do about 200 a day. So I think my challenge kind of wrapped up end of yesterday, and I did total 1,340. So he'll have to do about 4,000 push-ups, and yesterday he already did 500 because he's that strong, crazy athlete. So yeah, I mean, my chest, I wouldn't recommend this to everyone because yeah, my chest definitely feels a lot stronger, a little bit more toned. I mean, after about what 1,340 push-ups in the course of a week. Yeah, it was. It's maybe something that I would say for the adventure seekers out there. Maybe give it a try. Maybe set a goal for yourself. I wouldn't say do this often because yes, technically speaking, working out you're supposed to rest, let yourself heal, your muscles heal first, and then you go at it. But I mean, right now this is all with body weight, and I was actually trying to do it more high reps, no high sets, low reps. Because like I said, my chest has definitely gotten a lot weaker than it previously was. So essentially, I think in the beginning I started to do 10 reps for each set, and then I don't know. One day I just decided like, okay, I'm gonna have a protein shake, see if it's gonna help, and it did help. And then I think I did that on Wednesday of this challenge of last week. And since then, I've been able to do 20 push-ups per set, right? And then it would just take me about 10 to 12 sets to kind of just bang out the daily goal of mine. But really, honestly, having that daily goal of whatever physical activity. It might not be push-ups, it could be sit-ups, combination of both, or when you're working out, if for the people that have returned back to the gym, it really helps, right? I mean, the one thing I love about push-ups, and it's kind of making me want to buy actually a pull-up bar, not the ones that you attach to the door, but a stand in itself, is that you can set these little mini goals, and in the course of a week, you can see how much you've developed. I mean, I used to be able to do 50 push-ups in one go, but like I said, I haven't really worked out or anything for the last 9 to 10 months, and I think for me, it's my body trying to kind of regain the muscle memory that it's lost through, not training. I've been just doing cardio, honestly speaking. So yeah, it was a fun challenge. He's gonna be doing the 4,000 push-ups right now throughout this week. I honestly think he could do like probably 5,000-6,000. Put the challenge back on me type of deal. But it was good. It was fun. So definitely, I think if you're gonna be working out, not only are you challenging yourself, you should challenge someone like a workout partner. I think right now with COVID, it's created distance that's undeniable in that sense. But with that being said, though, I think for us here, humans are social creatures. It's for us to come up with ways to see each other grow, but at a distance, of course. As I guess right now we have to be with the space. But like I said, definitely a great challenge. Challenge your friends, challenge your family. I think the one thing that people lack is that everyone wants to be externally stimulated, and I'm saying that through like social media. We actually started watching another documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma, and I mean we only got through 10 minutes because we were on our trip, and but it was quite interesting. I do recommend you guys to watch it. It talks about really how these developers from Facebook to Gmail have developed, these great applications, but they've taken kind of like these applications and stuff, taking a turn onto being something of their own, something that the developers could not imagine. And it kind of like they're making it sound like they created somewhat of a monster in a way that how it seeks your attention. Now, I think why I bring that up is that these things, these triggers, are trying to trigger you externally. Whereas I think with working out, improving yourself in that way, setting those goals, personal goals, really helps create a stimulus, but internally. I think right now everyone's kind of, with COVID, we are trying to get that external stimulus because we're more alone now, being at home than we were. We can't meet up with friends as often, and with this virus and stuff. We're heading to winter, and that's the one thing. It could be one of two ways here. The first way is that we see this virus actually kind of die down in winter time due to our physical distancing and quarantining and all the procedures that we've kind of come up and learned about this virus throughout the last 9 months or so. I think it was, well, China learned it in December, but yeah, I think really it's just kind of it's made a toll, or it's set a toll. And I think it's hard for this virus to go away because we are such social beings that we are willing to take on risks, to see our friends, to see our family, just for the fact that in our mind we think maybe it's not going to happen to us, but it does, right? Because the one thing is we're fighting an enemy that you can't see, which is in the form of microscopic viruses. But yeah, I definitely recommend the Netflix documentary. Definitely recommend setting some personal physical goals for yourself, so you have those endorphins created in your own mind. Get that great pump as well. You feel good about yourself and your exercise and you're being these personal goals. Because like I mentioned before, my goals are 200 push-ups a day, and when I was able to surpass 200 a day, something in me just felt like this was very rewarding in itself to achieve. I mean, by all means, not like breaking any world records or anything, but for myself here, after kind of doing this push-up challenge between the boys versus girls type of deal, I mean, I definitely wasn't carrying my own weight, since yeah, my chest was seriously killing me that night, and my arms too. But it shows, right? It shows where you lack in, just like in trading, where you lack in certain areas and how you can improve, get better, right? I think Uncle Ted says it best is that everyone kind of going into trading is trying to take that quick, get rich quick scheme, but they don't take the time to develop the art, and they have this weird timeline that they have to reach a certain goal, which is good in a sense. But if you're going to start rushing the process and you're putting the time and effort into trading, need for the analysis, you're going to take bigger risks because first you think that you need to take bigger risks to make that $1,000 account to $10,000 account, then it's going to be tough for you, because there's, for a person that's like Uncle Ted himself that has $1 million account, he's just looking for that one opportunity that he make $10,000-$20,000. But if you think about it, that $10,000-$20,000 relative to his account, I mean, sometimes he makes a couple $100,000 because he's that good, but relative to his account, he's not really taking a bad. He's not first going in to make quick money. He's waiting for that opportunity. He's one of the most patient guys I've ever seen to take that trade, and he's going for the same consistent amount of pips for that trade. He doesn't do anything new, and before he does, because I think before he was trading mostly on gold, and then he developed kind of like a new strategy for Dow Jones, if I correctly remember that. But he's taking the time to use what he's already learned about Forex, about the markets, in a form to trade the indices. And then with those indices, they also have their little nuances that you have to kind of understand. So he's been developing, I think, for about 9-10 months, I think, since December. And since gold's been very, very volatile as well. So yeah, he's been developing that, and kudos to him. He's been doing really well, and I mean, for any trader, especially a person that he's taught so much from, it's great to see him do so well, and to learn from him as well and see how I can improve. Because I also do trade the indices as well. I trade NASDAQ 100 because I like kind of like the movements, volatilities, and with tech, 6 out of 10 times it's usually going up. Even on the worst of the bearish days. I mean, NASDAQ was the first kind of indices to break its all-time highs as well. And I think in this year it's made the highest amount of gains as well. So, alright, so let's talk back about here. So as you can see here, we finally got another push down. I think we're going to see like a little bit of a push up here. But you see here almost a double top here. 30-minute really just solidified that down move here. I mean, one thing we could be looking at here is that we could put in I would say put in a trade, if we were putting a trade. 10 pips would be right there. Put in a sell limit order for 66.8. If it taps into this area again, I think it's gonna be a push down here. So put the trade down here and see if we can get in. Sometimes you never know though. The markets move without you, but we'll see. We'll see. Test it out on a Monday. So price 66.8. Reverse. I'm just splitting mine into a runner and a core position, so you'll hear 2 orders in the background from me. So, and then down to the stops necessary. Stop loss will be 116.768. Oh, no, it didn't hit me. I'm not in yet. And as you know, we go for 10 pips, so 16.568 is our target. Okay. Yeah, worse is when it doesn't get hit, and if it continues to go down, but we don't know yet. Candle hasn't, of course, finished forming, so we'll just wait here. Trade one, so let's see. Of course, yeah. It didn't hit, unfortunately. Honestly, the bid was, oh no, the ask was right at 16.68. We need, of course, the bid to go up past that in order for it to hit. But we're trying to keep it 10 for 10. Oh, hey Manesh, thanks for joining us. I mean, right now it's, this channel's for educational purposes, so no, we're just gonna watch about my trade right now. I wouldn't say there's any signals. I do have a limit order at 16.668. It didn't unfortunately get hit though, so we'll kind of see. It's just 0.1 of a pip from getting hit, but it is what it is. So we'll take a wait. We'll wait and see. Good old waiting. So like I said, 7 o'clock we did actually have a push of like a decent movement. Anyways, it was 15 pips, almost 15 pips. Like I mentioned, buy limits are still not hit yet. We're just kind of waiting, waiting and seeing if it will hit, and that would take it to push up here. 20-minute looks good. We have the 30-minute close and the hour close, so let's just take a quick look at that. Hour we closed bearish, so first bearish candlestick honestly here. Market structure I would say is broken yet on the bearish side. It's only with a 30-minute, the smaller time frames that you've been seeing more of a consecutive breakdown here. 15 minutes, the first breakdown. And you like to see that break. If you look at the 15-minute here, you have kind of support that's been forming 1, 2, 3, 4 candlesticks in just a nice formation. One thing is that there is no top wick here, so that's something to worry. But then you go smaller time frames. There are 10 minutes right here. Push down. I always like to say this like basically peaked its head. This candlestick peaked its head below a bunch of previous sticks. I mean, it'd be great if obviously that order had hit me at 668. But sometimes, you know, right now we're kind of going fishing and we're kind of throwing bait out there. We're doing things that make sense to us, that if, let's just say, if the price goes up, we're at a level where we're comfortable that we won't get shaken out before the trade had time to do its formation. But yeah, I mean, it's a waiting game, it's a fishing game, like I sometimes like to mention. It's fun, it's frustrating at times if it doesn't catch bait, it's frustrating if it gets away, or it's frustrating if you get stopped out. But it's the name of the game. We're trying to improve every day. There is no rush, like I mentioned before. We're just trying to be better than we were yesterday, and that comes through practice every day. So a little bit of what I do and stuff at nighttime as well is that before I go to sleep, I always like to kind of do simulations as well. And I like to do it for once for QQQ, which is a stock I trade, and then once for Euro USD. Just do a day, just kind of before I sleep, get into the mindset of like the movements of charts, visit an update, do the essentially a top-down analysis, just like we did this morning, and then go from there, from the top down, and then just plan a trade. And see if it's going to work or not, right? So that's the one thing here that we are trying to do, is that we try to at least just practice, right? And just because you're never going to get really good without practicing. Just like you're not going to be starting to shoot and warm up in basketball when you're just when the game's about to happen, or actually when the game's on, you're not going to say that your free throws or you're dribbling, you're handling and stuff like that, you're just working on now. That doesn't make sense. You do that prior to the game. So just like trading, you practice as much as you can, and you do that prior before you're actually having to put in real capital and actually trade with that money as well. So that's a very important thing. I think it's not preached enough. If you really want to be good, like be the best of the best, you need to practice. You need to keep doing at it. You need to, when the toughing gets hard, or if the time or the training gets hard, you have to keep pushing through. And if that requires you to minimize risk, then do so, right? I mean, no one's rushing you. I think the best thing is to accumulate wealth, whether it be trading or if you're working and stuff, and then using that money to get residual income. In that sense, could be also the best. And let's see if I'm gonna get hit right now. We are getting close. So I have been executed now. So we'll wait and see how it goes. Let's just have it here. Yeah, this is kind of how I like to make notes, especially when I'm simulating. It's kind of like the same way. So we'll see if we're gonna get a push here down at what, 3 o'clock here. I don't know, 3 o'clock, 7:30. See if we get a push down and to around here. Like I said, target 16.56.8. So then we'll wait and see and kind of see if we're gonna get that push down that we're hoping for here. But you know, this could easily push back higher. Intraday we are up, but like I said before, I'm anticipating that this was going to be. Let's see here. Intraday we are on a bull trend, but on kind of the higher time frames. I think that with kind of last week's huge bullish or the bearish move, we're gonna see a continuation of that. So we'll wait and see and kind of see how this trade pans out. My stop is 10 pips away, so it is at 76.8. Yeah, if it goes to 76.8, which is where my stop is, well, I mean, that will just, essentially then this would have been just a push down, and this actually could have been the hour, could have been the liquidity grab, and then push the price down, but, I mean, this could all be a retest. We'll see, we'll wait until the candles close first, and then we'll see. It's either they close or I get stopped out, either or. We'll wait and see and kind of see how the markets play out here. Well, in the meantime, since I can't really do anything, the trade has defined stop losses and take profits, I am going to make a cup of coffee and Cassie. So I'll be right back. Nothing makes me happier than a dalgona coffee. That's what I'm going to be drinking right now. And if you haven't heard previously from what my dalgona coffees are, so dalgona coffee is a mixture of instant coffee, honey. You use a foamer to foam it, and then you microwave some milk as well. I use coconut milk, and it's just a nice, healthy, nutritious, caffeine enriched beverage, and it's great. Am I addicted? Maybe, but so what? Coffee is the most used drug in the world. Alright, so, well, I could have definitely, I think a learning from this trade is I could have definitely gone higher, maybe with my limit orders. Because that was close. I mean, I could still get the stop out here. So essentially we have two. You know what? I think I'm going to reduce my position by half because we have essentially one bullish candlestick, and this could turn on me. So I'm just going to reduce my position by half here. And then we'll see what happens here. Yeah, the one thing I didn't like about this is how the 20-minute and the 15-minute, they both close bullish. So that means that there is support here, and it's basically a retest here on here. So I wonder if we could. Switch. But it's lower highs. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I just closed out. Actually, the core position, which is 80% at 2 pip loss. So for me, I feel like the longer you're in a trade and it's not going your way, I mean, you have a nicely mapped out plan, but the one thing in finance is that the longer you're in anything, analysis, anything like that, the more uncertain the actual result is. Not saying your analysis is wrong, not saying you should be confident in your trade, but I mean, this, I was expecting the next candlestick to just be a push down here and get me out of it. A quick, nice, easy trade, but it hasn't yet, right? So that's the one thing that and it formed here. The 20-minute did form bullish. I thought the next 20-minute, even if it had the wick up, was going to push down to here. Easy, quick 10 pips, but it hasn't. And the 20-minute is going to form, actually just formed here. But then we're entering to the 7:30. So I still have my runner position, which is 20% of my typical position in here as well. So we're going to still test the waters here on a smaller amount. Main thing is to protect your capital. So yeah, that, and we're just going to see. Today is a Monday. It's a little choppy, but it is what it is. And we play. Let's see what we can do here. And then in 5 minutes, the market opens. North America market opens. So we'll see an influx. I would say probably the biggest influx of liquidity besides when the London session is open. I guess London session, the reason why you see a lot more moves, a lot nicer moves sometimes, is that when London opens, it's the influx of course, orders. But London is kind of in the middle of the world, right? That's like close to when the, like, let's just say Asia markets are about to close, for example, right? That's when they open, and then also they're opening as well. And there's a lot more trading, like country-wise speaking, there's a lot more countries over in the middle and kind of Eastern Europe, more, I guess, drivers of liquidity than in North America, although we are the biggest market here and we do provide another influx of volume. I would say that there's more moving pieces during the London time than there is in the North American time. Formations. So another, I guess, if we're looking back here, another cowboy entry that we could have done as well is that once we had like the 15-20 minute close above here and close bullish, we had a retest of this area here. Typically speaking, once it's bullish, you anticipate the next candlestick to be bullish. So if you get the first one, you're gonna, like, for example, the reason why I say this is a perfect example. We have 3 bullish candlesticks here, and then we expect the next one to be bullish, and wow, we do. And that was like a nice 10 pip move, pushing up to 15 pip move, then a little bit of drawdown, and then a continuation of another 20 pip move up here. So this is typically what we're expecting, is that move up after if you have a candle form, you expect that to continue in that way. So well, it's 7:30 now, so out 10 minutes, you're expecting that. We have nice 3 candlesticks that are bullish. You're gonna probably expect a push up here. With 20 minutes, we still have 9 minutes left. Interestingly enough, the U.S. market's opening, we didn't really see a flood of liquidity there. But higher time frames, yeah, 30 minutes just closed out. I'm just gonna close out the rest of this trade. I mean, it didn't go as according to plan, but hey, I was able to kind of see what was going to go happen, see what my total loss was for this. I lost 3 pips total of this whole position. So this trade here. some reason I feel like it's gonna push up. Like this was a liquidity grab. Okay, I'm a reverse trade, guys. I'm gonna go. So I've kind of reversed the trade. Price was at 75. My TP is going to be at 85 here. I think, yeah, this was a liquidity grab. I think we're going to see another push up here higher. So I'm just put my TP here at 1. So 10 pips as usual. 16.85.2. Stop loss is going to be, it's going to be right underneath here actually. It's going to be a little bit more, 16. 1.6. I just want to give it room to move a little bit here. So we'll see how that plays out. Oh, get that push up. I wonder if it's gonna push initially here, push up further here. The reason why is that how it formed. We had a push down and then a reversal essentially. The highs are around here. I put it at 1880s just for the fact that typically speaking, that's like an area of contention. But this could go to 90s. Don't get me wrong here. So I think, yeah, 85s around here. I think you're gonna see initial push up. Intraday, we've had a big intraday move. We've already just made a new higher high, intraday speaking. So yeah, I think we could see a continuation. Let's see if you look at the hour here. You might see a wick fill here. And then don't forget, this was essentially, it's bottomed out. We've had some consolidation. We had to push here. I'm going to see if the US markets open can push the markets, the Euro USD even higher. So I'm just going to make the notes here and kind of see the trade too. I mean, I was a little slow. I should have had the price at 70, at least I think around 70s, because before the breakout here, I think it was like roughly, what was it, 10, rough here when we were looking at it, it was around here-ish. So yeah, we should have been in and out of this trade. But do I see it break 80? Yeah, I do see it. But I mean, the better execution we were actually looking at before, it was at right at 70. So yeah, we will see. I'm just gonna put the notes in here first, see if we can see that push up. But yeah, we did make newer highs. It is on a nice bullish candlestick here. So typically speaking, I do imagine it to push higher. Trade two. So what happened to me last time was that I missed out on a trade as well, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit the trade, and the reason being is it's not like I don't think this is a good trade. The reason being is that the entry point should have been at the 70 area, not the 75 area, so I'm in a disadvantage already. So yeah, I'm just going to close it now. Just call it there. When we were looking at it right before the rip, and when we saw it kind of, when we were doing the analysis before this break-in, because as I mentioned, it's like, oh, it was the third. Typically, we were talking about the previous candlesticks, the fourth one. And this fourth candlestick, yes, gave you that 10 pips. And if you look here too, the stop, yeah, 10 pips for a lower low. That would have been your ideal candlesticks. I mean, I got out with a little bit of a profit here. But I'm just saying, though, the entry wasn't the most ideal for me. So I didn't think that, hey, there's no point of risking the account because I would have been in and out of this trade. This was actually kind of the trade I was looking for. A quick 5-minute trade, in and out, you're done, call it a day. And that's what we're trying to do, make it stress-free trading. And yeah, as you can see, it's kind of reversing back here. I'm not saying it's not here, but I drew the zone. I'm going to trust the zone here. But the one thing I do want to say is that, yeah, it's... the setup was here, the move was here, that was your 10 pips, that was in and out. The core would have been gone and you would have broke even the trade, but since I just punched out for 2 pip. 2 pip gain. Price was not ideal. So that's very unfortunate. I wish the analysis on my end was quicker here. So yeah, if it was, then yeah, we would have maybe seen a push up higher. But life goes on. Life goes on. But yeah, those are the 2 trades I've done today. Probably gonna call it a day here. Just for a fact, I'm gonna just, since I'm not having you guys on here, I'm just gonna do notes here. And then do the blog post as well. Might as well. What I like about this too is that you have a formation. You have it form a bullish candlestick form, tap into the zone. It's still a bullish candlestick. You have the wick to fill. If you really want to take a cowboy trade here, your stop would be 4 pips for probably 4 pips. I think that's attainable. You buy it right now, for example, your stop's, yeah, like what, 6 pips. And yeah, you can get 6 pips around here, 6 for 6. Or 1 for 1 RR, but 6 pips for 6 pips win and loss. And just play it there. I think one thing I'm trying to say is you should measure out your trades, the risk and reward. So, and you should go into the trades that give you the highest advantage, where your stock is kind of outside of where, even with volatility, get you knocked out. But at the same time, though, you'll have a good entry point to add on. So I'm just going to make notes here. You'll see all these trades on our blog. Yeah, that was unfortunate. That was a little bit of the nice kind of 10 tips that we've been waiting for all morning. But like I said, it's fishing. Trading is like fishing. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. But you keep striving and you try to become better every single day. And of course, my Dalgona coffee is interrupted. And my focus is. So yeah. Like around here, kind of like, let's just say if we were gonna enter 72 right now, I would just, this could backfire. This is a cowboy entry. 72, yeah. Here, yeah, 6 pips. We'll see. But yeah, that's another reason, like I mentioned, that I wanted to get out, because I just didn't feel comfortable as well about this trade, just for the fact that my price was not ideally what I wanted it to be. So it is unfortunate. We'll see if our cowboy virtual trade is going to happen. Is when there's virtual trades, it means nothing. It could go all so wrong. It doesn't really matter. It's just fun and games, and no one's going to get hurt, especially your account. What's a better? I think the 10-minute was actually a very good way of seeing it here. So the initial trade here this morning on the short right there. And then the trade here. Oh, how did it get stopped at? My stop's at 66 virtual. So one more thing is you can find all these trades on our blog right now. We want to make it, we know the videos are sometimes a little bit tad long, so we want to make the video like kind of like a recap of our trades on the daily recap. So find all that information there. I think we kind of go into a little bit more depth about discussing our trades when we're writing it down, just because for us it's kind of like notes as well. Man, this sugary goodness. That's probably the reason why I can't lose weight. I'm getting fat from this. Wow. This could have been the liquidity grab. Like, and there's so many different ways of kind of deciphering the charts. It's just a beautiful thing. I mean, I find anyways. I find it quite enjoyable. Save image. Time goes so fast. So fast. That's why we have to make the most of every day. Bad day, good day, whatever day. Just gotta make the most of it. Insert 10-minute chart here. Oh, did I get stopped out? No. Ooh. Redemption. Look at that. Look how the 15 closed. That's insane. 30 minutes still closed. I mean, 20 minute, 30 minutes still, like, 20 minute, I think this could have been, like, the bottom wake to see it push higher to, like, the 85 levels, but it's not like I want to put my account through that since I did miss the trade. I would have been in and out. The stop would have been, my core would have been out. The runner would have been stopped out, which is fine. Runners are either meant to go higher or get you stopped out at break even. So those, honestly, those runners are a beautiful thing, because you really don't have to think about it except for like adjusting the stops. But when you do that, that's very systematic in its approach too. So oh, 8. pips, guys. Okay. Wow, I'm still in. Break even. This is insane. Still in. Oh. And one more thing I want to say, since I'm writing the notes here, and I'm going to specifically say that about my first trade one here. So right now, I mean, through simulations, I've kind of found that putting buy stops or sell stops for either for myself here, Euro USD or QQQ, doesn't really work well for me. And the reason why I say it doesn't really work well is that the buy stops is like you're predicting a move to have already been happening and then to push in your favor and make sure that it lasts and doesn't reverse. Now, the one thing here is I would have actually been at a bigger loss if I had put a buy stop below the sell, below this area here. So at 63, for example. Actually, I would have been stopped out at the initial breakup here. And the reason why I say that is that this was a fake out, your typical fake out. But since I had a buy limit here, because I thought I was going to retest, remember my buy limit here was 668, so around here, which provided me enough time for the 20-minute candlestick to form. I was already down like 2 pips, but the 20-minute candlestick to form and me making decisions like, hey, this doesn't look right. It should have been the next 20 should have been a move down here, right? And I would have been out for the 10 pips. But having the limit order, because we know that most candlesticks form wicks, as you can see on almost every candlestick here, except for the few, that they form wicks. So this allowed me to get in my trade to see the formation of the 20-minute candlestick and be like, hey, this isn't right. This is not typically what the plan was supposed to be. And it provides you a little bit more space and room, because let's just say we put a buy stop right here, which typically a lot of people would. This trade would have already stopped me out at 10 pips. but it actually, by putting a limit order, I only lost about roughly 3 pips, and then it gave me an idea that, well, if I acted quicker, I would have been in this trade number 2. I would have got my 10 pips out. I would have been in. So for me, through simulation, kind of what I've been kind of mentioning before, that with simulation, I find that what works best for me hasn't been buy or sell stops. It's actually been with buy limits, sell limits, or just punching in. When I feel that, like this, for example, trade 2, punching in would have been the best thing for me, because there wasn't a wick for the final move upwards. There wasn't a wick. And then for sell limits, it saved me a lot of pips. I would have been stopped out otherwise if I didn't have that there as well. So that was another great benefit. This setup is, it hit my limit order, great. We should have seen like on the 20-minute candlestick here, we should have seen that the initial one here, but then a push down here, and I would have been out, right? This 10 pips is quite a bit, and okay, my virtual trade got stopped out, so the cowboy entry didn't work. On a side note there, but yeah, just for, I mean, it might work for you. You might have a different way of spawning these, but I found that for me, when I'm spawning these entry points, that applying the trade out, putting the buy limit orders, putting the sell limit orders worked a hell of a lot better for me than it did with putting the buy stops and sell stops. So I'd rather punch in or do the limit orders versus buy stops, and that's just a little tidbit. Wow, what a breakdown. Beautiful thing. So yeah, I think that could have been the liquidity grab right up here and then push down. 10 pips. So these 10 pip moves happen quite a bit, but like I said, we are kind of bearish from like the intraday, from the daily or the higher time frames. So I was a little worried about the longs, but yeah, look, the shorts is obviously finding that the bears have been they're coming to play. Now also here too, I wouldn't enter now since it's around 8 o'clock. I mean, there might be moves here. You might see a little bit of whipsaw here, or you could actually see that this was a retest. It couldn't break this area. We do have previous areas here that you've seen a lower high, maybe, and then finally a push down here as well. So there could be a shorting opportunity here. Not saying that I'm going to take any of the shorting opportunity there, but just we're trying to be nimble here. We're trying to talk about both sides here. My initial trade one was a short. Obviously the timing wasn't right, and if I was analyzing a lot quicker, not making my favorite coffee and stuff, maybe would have seen that this would have been a great opportunity and I would have got my 10 pips and then call it a day. But yeah, so just want you guys to know that you have to keep analyzing, keep talking about this type of deal. Today is September 20th, 2020. Legarity. Well, that's gonna be the word of the day, so let's do it. Word of the day, avow.
Avow.
Let's see what it means, everyone. Avow. Let's see here. To declare frankly or openly, own, acknowledge, confess, admit. He avowed himself an opponent of all alliances. Oh, that's cool. Old word, though. I want them to teach us more newer words. Because recently I kind of feel like that they've been kind of going to like the old English that I find somewhat outdated to use in modern speech. That's just my opinion. If I'm quiet, guys, I'm just writing the blog post here, so feel free to send a quick message or anything like that. Wow, nice gap up. What a move. What a move. Have we found a bottom, sir? Alright, well, I think today's I'm gonna end this stream here. Well, it's great chatting with some of you here. Shout out this morning for a good wake-up call to throwbacks as always. Appreciate its support. And a new member, Manish Patel. Thanks for joining us for a little bit. And yes, you'll catch us tomorrow at 6 o'clock again. Happy trading. You guys take care. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye now.